For the last 30 days, I've sat down in front of my window and journaled every single day. As something that kind of started as like a Dear Diary entry has now become an integral part of my own self-awareness and a practice that I think everyone should be doing every single day. Journaling is the process of sitting down every single day and just writing something, emotions, intentions, anything. And it's something that in this modern busy world where we're rushing to get to work, wanting to sit down and binge that new Netflix show or keep scrolling on that slot machine that is social media, that we just don't make time for. Some people might see it as a little bit weird and a slightly little bit lame, like something that you used to see on a TV show where people would keep their little diaries up in a little padlocked thing, like the old little padlocks that you could get. And in reality, that's exactly what it is, but with a bit more focus and drive about self-development, self-improvement, and just general self-awareness. I first started journaling about a year ago using a cheap little journal from Amazon called the 6-Minute Diary, and it didn't go great. As you can see, I only made it a small amount of the way through. Each day had the same questions, it lacked emotional check-ins, and to be fair, at the time, I thought the whole concept of self-improvement and positivity was just a bit of a cash grab, really. Fast forward to December 2021. Christmas had just finished, I'd officially changed jobs. That one big stressor in my life that I had massively fallen out of love with had now finished, and I was now on a path to do a career with a job that I wanted to do since I was a kid. So I thought maybe I'll be a little bit more positive this time around. Let's give journaling another go. Now, when you first start journaling for the first time, there's a lot of information out there, from articles that tell you to just do it, loads of kind of writing guides, which is, some of them are a little bit odd. But if you've never done journaling and you kind of need a little bit of guidance, a bit like I do myself, then the Mind Journal is a phenomenal way to get started. Now, this is listed as a journal for men, but after quite a few weeks now of using it, I can positively say that this journal is not for men and anyone can use this. There's nothing about this that screams this is for men only. But this was the perfect way to get introduced into journaling, with the guidance that it gave me and the prompts it gave to help with kind of that freedom of expression and freedom of writing. So in short, I'm going to break down each of the stages within here, so you don't actually have to technically go out and buy this. You could just start writing, but great start. But let's break down each of these areas and sections that are in here and how they could benefit you if you were to start journaling yourself. So each day of the journal, you are met with kind of an emotional check-in, and it's not just an open-ended question of how are you feeling, because that's very hard to answer. It has a tick sheet of different emotions that you might be feeling right here, right now, and that kind of guidance helps you just see some things. There might be emotions that you didn't think of yourself that you might actually see on paper and be like, oh wait, yeah, I'm actually feeling that. Content is one that I write an awful lot. I say I'm content quite a bit because I do feel quite a bit content. But without that prompt, I never would have used that word. And I know it's not a fancy word or anything special, but that guidance, that kind of giving you a big old list of emotions kind of helps you envision and self-reflect a little bit better on the different emotions that there are. Like I said, a lot of the time I was writing that I was happy and content and calm, but the benefit really started to shine when I wasn't writing those and I was putting things like sad, tired, anxious in there. Yes, ticking off a simple chart sheet is not just going to make you suddenly feel better. However, it enabled me to do something that we as a society aren't very good at, and that is admitting how we're feeling. Being able to sit there and say, yes, I do feel sad today, yes, I do feel anxious, and yes, I'm just doing it into a journal, nothing special, but doing it just to a journal gave me that confidence to say to other people how I'm feeling that day and be more confident about acknowledging, expressing, and feeling the emotions that I feel. From here, you're then guided into something called intentions or achievements. And this obviously depends if you're writing it in the morning or the evening. If it's an evening one, then chances are it's an achievement. In the morning, it's an intention. But in here, it is just 3 things that you've either achieved or you have intended for the day ahead. Like, what do you want to do today? That could be a big thing such as fixing the toilet, a small thing such as starting a new habit of cycling to work once a week, or putting something in there that you're really proud that you did today. This very simple process of just listing 3 things that I intend for today actually pushed me into another form of journaling called bullet journaling. Bullet journaling is a kind of a practice of tracking habits or to-do lists, or just listing out things that you'd like to achieve and do. A simple list of what you're going to be doing that day is a great way of decompartmentalizing what you are supposed to be doing and help you break down what can always be an overwhelming day, even if it's not that overwhelming of a day. Even if it's just the weekend, I still quite like to write these small bullet journals out just to kind of help me process what's coming ahead. That can be from small things such as have a shave today, go get your hair cut, all the way through to starting that massive project of redesigning or painting a bedroom that you need to start. Breaking it down into small chunks helps you kind of tick off and cross off every single time you achieve something and help you see that progression of achievement that you have been doing throughout your life. Yes, you can do this on your phone, but writing it down physically I find helps an awful lot. So I've picked up these small pocket filled notebooks from Amazon. This one's my work one. I have one for work, one for ideas, one for home. The practice of writing it down by hand as well, I've found helps it make it feel a bit more accountable. I've written it down, it's somewhere permanent, it's in something that I can look back on and see that I haven't done. That sense of permanence, I think, just helps you actually do it for once. And also crossing it out, it's got a nice tactile thing of just scoring it out. Nicer than clicking a done on a phone list, really. Anyway, back to the mind journal and the practice of gratitude. So being grateful is the next step within the mind journal and within journaling, and probably the fundamental part of journaling and what everyone should do. If you're going to start journaling, this is the one area of journaling I think you should start with. The first time you do it and the first time you see the what are you grateful for, a lot of the time, and probably for the first few days, you will sit there and go, well, there's nothing to be grateful for, nothing magical's happened, it's been a pretty bog standard week. But that's when you really start digging down into the nitty gritty of small little things that you are grateful for. From being happy that you could spend that extra time with your partner, or that extra cup of coffee you could squeeze in before getting to work, or even getting the time to play that new video game that you could never seem to fit into your new schedule. All these things are small things that are to be grateful for. They don't have to be these big life-changing moments. You can be grateful for the little things. I found over the month, the more I could pick up on the smaller things I was grateful for, the less I was indulging in the negativity that's going on everywhere. I started to appreciate those smaller things and help change your overall perspective on the external world. And then lastly, we have free writing. Now, this is probably the most intimidating aspect of the journal. Like, you're given a blank page and told to write. Now, in the mind journal, it does give you prompts for the first 3 weeks of the book. It does tell you things such as talk about what crying makes you feel like, what your relationship with money is like, what's in your stress bucket, small things like that, which do help guide you. However, you notice as well, the more you practice free writing, and because you've done all these previous steps of saying what you're grateful for, what you intend for the day, how you feel, you tend to just word dump and you just vomit onto a page, in short. If you need guidance, there's tons of kind of prompts online of things to write about, but generally speaking, I'd urge you to use this section as a word vomit basically, and just, if you have a thought, write it down. If you have 33 word thoughts, write all of those down. Anything that's no longer up in here causing you stress is now on the page and separating you from that and helping you look at it from a different perspective. So journaling all in all is good, and these were some of the things that I learned over that 30-day period. The changes in how I could reflect on my own emotions, the feelings of being able to be grateful for little tiny things each and every day. And like I said, it can be intimidating to start. Get yourself a book like the Mind Journal or even the 6-minute journal. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just not as good as the Mind Journal. But if you don't even want to purchase either of those, grab yourself just a small notebook and just start writing. Start with the first step of this video. Go back to that very beginning step of writing down your emotions every day. Then as the weeks go on, start building up and building up. And as you start writing, you do start to feel good. Yes, sometimes you're just writing about how sad you feel. But when you then go back and look over that, you can see that maybe you were sadder at the start than you were now, and you can see that progression, and it can help you visualize that you can get through things. So tell me down below, do you have a journal? Are you journaling? Are you putting it off? If you are putting it off, why are you putting it off? Have you started and stopped? What made you stop? Let's have a discussion about journaling down below. As always though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed the video today and you want to catch future videos. As you know, we often jump between these style videos and video-based tutorials. I've got some tutorials lined up in the future which I'm quite excited to film, as well as a couple of vlogs, and one of them about creativity. I'm very excited to film that. Very excited. But until next time, I'll see you soon. Take care.